my video on maltreatment in the brain. So first, just a broad definition of what maltreatment is. Maltreatment, as defined by the National Child Abuse and Neglect Data System, is neglect, medical neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, or psychological abuse or maltreatment in any way. And like I said, we're going to be applying this to infant and then their later brain development. The first topic I really want to touch on for this video is abusive head trauma, which was formerly known as shaken baby syndrome. It is a type of maltreatment in which an angry or frustrated adult shakes an infant violently, resulting in brain damage or death. The brain hits the front and the back of the skull repeatedly at a force that can be 5 to 10 times greater than an accidental fall. Abusive head trauma is the leading cause of infant death in the US each year. And some parents actually believe that shaking is better than a spanking, but it is so not the case, as I said previously, it can be so dangerously and can cause severe brain damage or death. It can happen on accident because, again, it is just caused by a frustrated parent shaking an infant violently. But if you feel like you're getting frustrated with your child in any way, then the best course of action is to just put them down in a safe space or give them to a safe person so that you can walk away and take a minute to yourself. So the next topic that I want to touch on is maltreatment and its effect on the amygdala. And so the amygdala is the fear and anxiety center of the brain, and it is fully developed by 1 year of age. However, again, we do have other fear and anxiety systems develop within the first few months of life, and so infants are capable of feeling fear and anxiety. Animal studies show that overstimulation of amygdala early in life caused the animal version of PTSD. Young, maltreated animals then grow up and become anxious, panicky adults. And we kind of extrapolate that data, the studies, into humans. And Reinecke et al. Strived to do just that. They studied the specific effects on brain development, more specifically amygdala, that maltreatment would have, and they used a rat and used the scarcity adversity model of low bedding, which means the mother is not able to provide adequate housing, which causes specific mother maltreatment of infants. So the study showed that adversity towards the infant with the rat mother physically present actually targets the amygdala right away. The infant will pair those high stress hormone levels with their mother, and it actually alters the infant's behavior towards their mother, which is an early marker for problems with brain development. It causes a hyperactive amygdala, especially when the maltreated infant was shown their mother. And increased activity can happen almost immediately. So here we can see these blue bars show hyperactive amygdala use in maltreated infants when compared to a control that had relatively moderate amygdala activity. So the third topic I want to touch on is maltreatment and brain size. So the brain is going to suffer during physical and psychological health threats. And it's dangerous at all times, but during infancy, the brain is rapidly developing and all new senses are developing and new abilities are developing. And so at this point, it is so critical for healthy psychological health and healthy physical health. Infant maltreatment often comes with global neglect, which is minimal exposure to language, touch, and social interactions, and those infants' brains actually suffer even more. Studies of MRIs have actually shown a decrease in brain size overall of infants who suffered maltreatment. Brain volume decreased the longer the abuse went on, and the areas most affected were the areas that suffered the most. Some research studies have also shown that early exposure to maltreatment decreases the size of the cerebellum, which is an area with close connections to the prefrontal cortex, which is the judgment and decision-making zone of the brain. So it has obvious consequences for later in life. Judgment-making skills and decision-making skills are going to way decrease, which can put the child into dangerous situations. So here I just wanted to show with a picture how dangerous maltreatment can be. On the bolded here in the box here we have a 3-year-old child who went through extreme neglect during their childhood compared to a child that did not experience that same neglect. And so finally, I just kind of want to bring these all together and talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs just a little bit. So maltreatment, by definition, is a lack of safety and security. And as we can see, safety and security is second in importance only to basic physiological health. Without safety and security, social needs can't be met, self-esteem needs can't be met, and self-actualization cannot happen. So safety and security and a life and a house free from abuse and neglect or maltreatment is so important for infant development, and as we saw, so crucial for infants' brain development. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.